Hey y'all. So if you're a parent who disagrees with the results of your child's school evaluation, or you feel that the testing wasn't thorough enough, you have the right to what's called an independent educational evaluation, or an IEE, under the Individuals with Disabilities in Education Act. And it's not just an IEE that you have a right to, it's one at the public's expense. And so here's what you need to know about IEEs. As a parent, you always have the right to a private evaluation. And if you share the evaluation results with the school, the results become part of your child's educational record. The school must consider those results, but it doesn't have to accept them. An IEE at the public's expense is different from a typical private evaluation. It's still a private evaluation performed by a qualified professional. However, it's an evaluation that the school pays for. And that professional that is hired cannot work for the school district. The evaluator is picked from an approved list of professionals who are not connected to the district. And so IDEA gives you the right to request that the school pay for the IEE if you disagree with the results of the school's evaluation. And so some other reasons that you might disagree with an IEE, or disagree with a school evaluation or request an IEE, is that the school evaluation didn't find evidence of a disability, but you think it's incorrect. You don't think the disability your child has been diagnosed with is correct, or you think the results of the testing aren't accurate, or the school's evaluation didn't examine all the issues that you think it should have. And so in some instances, the school just agrees to pay for the evaluation. But in some cases, the school might give some pushback. And so the school can't simply just refuse your request, though. And so if it feels an IEE isn't needed, it must ask for what's called a due process hearing to say why its evaluation, was correct. And so during the hearing, the school must show that the evaluation it did was right for your child. And if it fails to do so, the hearing officer will decide that the school has to pay for the IEE. But before a decision is made, the school can ask you why you don't agree with this evaluation. By law, however, IDEA says you don't have to provide an explanation. Okay. It also says that the schools can't cause unreasonable delays in scheduling and paying for the IEE or filing for due process. There are timelines in which all of these things must take place. And so while it's important that you're aware of those timelines that you have, it's important to be aware of the timelines that are set for them as well. If you do want to explain why you disagree with the school's initial evaluation, it's important to be prepared. This is the point where I'd say possibly consult with an attorney before attending the hearing, so that you have your ducks in a row as to why you don't agree. And you have the language behind you to support that. All right. So an IEE has to meet the same standards that are required for a school evaluation. For instance, the credentials of the evaluator and the location of the evaluation have to be comparable to the schools. And the school is the one to tell you what those standards are. Okay. So some final things to know about IEEs. When you disagree with an evaluation, you only have the right to one IEE request for each evaluation the school conducts. All right, and the results of the IEE have to be considered by the school to make sure it's providing your child with a free and appropriate public education. FAPE. All right. Also, the results can be used as evidence in future due process hearings, and that's worth knowing in case the results aren't that different from the school's evaluation and you have to decide on your next steps. And so be aware of your rights so you know what those steps could be. And I've created a video about your evaluation rights, as well as a separate video about the pros and cons of private evaluations. And so if you have any questions specifically related to how to go about requesting an independent education evaluation, I'd be happy to connect you with a template that gives you the outline of what that letter could look like. All right, so if you have any additional questions, you already know what to do.